You should never trust or respect these 9 people. In a world where every smile hides a universe of thoughts and every handshake carries more than a simple greeting, the true dimensions of a person often remain invisible. Behind each interaction, there are hidden forces playing a crucial role in the dynamics of trust and deception that weave the complex tapestry of human relationships. Today we will dive into the subtleties of these dynamics, exploring how Stoic wisdom can help us navigate the challenges of human relationships. Have you ever thought about how small interactions can have a huge impact on our lives? Whether you are dealing with a manipulative friend, a constant critic, or someone who is simply superficial, our journey today will equip you with tools to face the world not only with caution, but with enlightened discernment. Ready to unravel these mysteries with me? Let's begin. Now, delving into Stoic teachings, we reflect on a powerful truth. It is not within our reach to control the actions of others, but we have full control over our own reactions. How do you respond to what happens around you? This Stoic perception teaches us that by adjusting our responses and understandings, we can shape the bonds that unite us with other people. This internal control not only strengthens our emotional resilience, but also redefines the way we connect in our relationships. As we become more aware of our capacity to respond, we prepare the ground to explore the next intriguing theme, the different types of people we encounter in our relational journeys. What roles do we play and find in this theater of social life? Let's find out. In the context of human relationships, emotional manipulation can wear many clothes. One of the most insidious is the distorted use of empathy. I am referring here to the so-called manipulative friend, that individual who, under the mask of understanding and support, uses their empathetic skills in a calculated way to serve their own interests. Let's think together. How many times have we found ourselves sharing our concerns and deepest secrets with someone who seemed to listen to us with all attention and care? And how many of those times have this information been used against us in ways we never suspected? It is essential to discern true empathy from manipulative empathy. True empathy builds bridges, strengthens bonds, and promotes mutual well-being. Manipulative empathy, on the other hand, serves as a tool to gain trust and then exploit it, promoting inequality in the relationship. So how can we protect ourselves? First, learn to identify the signs. A friend who frequently makes you feel indebted or who always has a hidden agenda when offering help may not be acting with the best intentions. Second, be selective with the information you share. Not everyone needs to know all the details of your life. Moreover, strengthen your self-esteem and emotional independence. The more confident and self-sufficient you are, the less likely you are to fall into the traps of a manipulator. I invite you to reflect. Do you have someone in your life who could fit this profile? How can you adjust your relationship with this person to protect your emotional well-being? Remember, understanding the dynamics of our relationships is a crucial step toward personal development and a happier, healthier life. Be attentive and, above all, be kind to yourself. You deserve true and enriching relationships. After reflecting on the necessary care when sharing personal information with friends who may have manipulative intentions, it is also important to address another delicate aspect of interpersonal relationships: criticism. Understanding the difference between constructive criticism and destructive judgments is crucial for our emotional health and personal development. Imagine you are giving your best effort on a project or a new skill. Someone approaches you and instead of offering words of encouragement or useful feedback, they launch a series of negative comments. This situation is unfortunately common and leads us to our next point: the constant critic. This person seems to always have something negative to say, and rarely do their words aim at mutual improvement. But how can we distinguish between criticism that is intended to help us grow and purely destructive judgment that serves only to hurt? Constructive criticism is well-founded, specific, and presented in a way that encourages improvements. On the other hand, destructive judgments are often vague, loaded with negativity, and can undermine the self-esteem of those who receive them. The ability to not internalize negative criticism is a powerful shield. When confronted with destructive comments, we should ask ourselves, does this criticism reflect more about the person making it than about me? By maintaining this perspective, we protect our emotional core and self-image. I encourage each of you to reflect on how you receive criticism. Are you giving power to voices that do not seek your well-being? How can you reinforce your emotional resilience to recognize and value only the criticism that helps you grow? Remember, criticism can be an incredible tool for personal growth when used correctly, but not every comment deserves its weight in gold. Evaluate, filter, and move forward, always maintaining your integrity and self-respect intact. Continuing our journey of self-knowledge and understanding social dynamics, let's now dive into the phenomenon of the superficially friendly. After discussing the challenges of dealing with constant and destructive criticism, it is natural to think about the quality of interactions we choose to nurture in our daily lives. The superficially friendly represents those people who, although they seem cordial and receptive at first glance, keep their interactions at a shallow level. They may be charming and engaging in casual conversations, but there is a lack of interest or availability to develop a deeper and more meaningful bond. These relationships can leave us feeling empty or even frustrated, especially when we realize the lack of substance or genuineness behind the friendly facade. It is important to reflect on the value of authentic connections. Deep and meaningful relationships are those that sustain and enrich us. They involve vulnerability, mutual trust, and an emotional investment that goes beyond the superficial. Such relationships are built with time, patience, and above all, reciprocity. I invite you to ask yourself, which of my relationships are truly deep and which are merely superficial? Consider how you can invest more in those connections that truly bring meaning to your life. Recognizing the importance of deepening relationships can lead us to a fuller and more satisfying existence. After all, we are social beings, and the quality of our relationships often defines the quality of our lives. So how about taking a step forward in the quest for deeper and truly enriching relationships? As we reflect on the importance of cultivating deep and meaningful relationships, we cannot ignore a common obstacle in this process: the inattentive listener. This figure, like the superficially friendly, is present in various interactions, but in a particularly frustrating way. While the former may engage at superficial levels without the intention of deepening, the inattentive listener often fails to engage even superficially. Genuine communication is a two-way street where both speaking and active listening are essential. An inattentive listener can manifest in various ways: frequent interruptions, distant looks, generic responses that do not correspond to what was said, or simply the lack of memory of past interactions. These behaviors not only discourage openness and vulnerability, but can also lead to the deterioration of interpersonal bonds. To deal with an inattentive listener, it is helpful first to understand the root of the problem. Is it disinterest, information overload, or perhaps personal difficulties that distract their attention? Identifying the cause can guide the best approach to improve communication. Some strategies that can be useful include: 1. Ensuring attention before starting to speak. Sometimes a simple "can you listen to me for a moment" can set the stage for more attentive listening. 2. Using direct and engaging questions. This can encourage the listener to participate more actively in the conversation. 3. Direct and honest feedback. Expressing how you feel when you seem not to be heard can help the other person realize their behavior and potentially motivate them to change. I encourage all of you not to passively accept being devalued by inattentive listeners. Instead, see this as an opportunity to strengthen your communication skills and perhaps help others become better listeners. After all, effective communication is fundamental to all significant and rewarding relationships in our lives. Proceeding in our analysis of the complexities of human interactions, we now come to the person without empathy. This topic resonates deeply after discussing the challenge of communicating with the inattentive listener. The lack of empathy, where a person cannot or chooses not to put themselves in another's shoes, further raises barriers to effective communication and healthy relationships. Interacting with someone who shows an apparent lack of empathy can be painful and exhausting. It can feel as if our emotions and experiences are constantly minimized or ignored. This not only prevents the development of a true bond, but can also negatively affect the self-esteem and emotional well-being of those around. In this scenario, it is vital to adopt strategies to manage such interactions healthily. 1. Establishing clear boundaries. It is crucial to define what is acceptable for you in terms of treatment and communication. Clear boundaries can protect your emotional health. 2. Patience and education. In some cases, the lack of empathy may be a matter of lack of awareness and not necessarily malicious indifference. Communicating your needs calmly and clearly can sometimes open doors to better understanding. 3. Emotional protection. Knowing when to distance yourself is important. If repeated interactions with an unempathic person leave you feeling drained or belittled, it may be time to reevaluate the level of involvement with that person. Reflect on how you can apply these principles in your own relationships. Empathy is a central pillar for rich and deep interpersonal relationships, and promoting this mutual understanding can positively transform the way we relate to each other. As we navigate the sometimes turbulent waters of human relationships, each of these personality types we have addressed offers a chance for growth and learning. Empathy, active listening, and mutual respect are skills that, once cultivated, can elevate our interactions to new levels of understanding and connection. Continuing our exploration of the challenging dynamics in human interactions, we now encounter the eternal victim. This profile, similar to the person without empathy in its capacity to complicate relationships, is characterized by the constant self-attribution of the victim role in almost all situations. The eternal victim tends to see themselves perpetually as the target of injustices or bad luck, using this narrative to attract sympathy and attention from others. While it is natural to want support in times of adversity, the persistence of this behavior can become a manipulative strategy that emotionally drains those around. Here are some ways to deal with people who constantly place themselves as victims. 1. Recognition with limits. It is important to validate the person's feelings when appropriate, but also essential to set limits to avoid being consumed by their negativity. 2. Encouragement of self-efficacy. Encouraging the person to take actions that promote solutions instead of just discussing problems can help break the cycle of victimization. 3. Protection of your emotional space. Maintaining mental and emotional health is crucial. Recognize when the interaction is starting to affect your well-being and know when it is necessary to step back. By addressing the phenomenon of the eternal victim, I encourage each of you to consider how these interactions affect your own lives and to seek ways to interact that are healthy and sustainable. Empathy is valuable, but it must be balanced with self-care to ensure that relationships are mutually enriching and not one-sided. Just like in the other situations we discussed, dealing with the eternal victim offers an opportunity to strengthen our communication and empathy skills while teaching us about the importance of maintaining a healthy emotional balance in our daily interactions. Now, moving further into the analysis of the complexities of human relationships, we face the challenge of the double-faced. This type of behavior is particularly difficult to deal with because it involves people who present one face in your presence and a completely different one behind your back. This double game not only generates distrust, but also compromises the authenticity of relationships. The double-faced is characterized by a lack of consistency between what is said and what is done depending on the audience. This can be particularly harmful as it undermines the fundamental trust necessary for any healthy relationship. The disloyalty and manipulation underlying this behavior can leave deep marks, especially when the truth comes out. How can we then deal with people who show this duplicity in their interactions? Here are some strategies. 1. Valuing transparency. Promoting and practicing transparency in your own interactions can set a standard of behavior that you expect from others. 2. Choosing friendships carefully. It is vital to surround yourself with people whose values and behaviors align with yours. Authentic people tend to create a safer and more trustworthy environment. 3. Prudent confrontation. When appropriate, confronting the person about perceived discrepancies in their behavior can be enlightening. This should be done carefully and privately, aiming to understand their actions better without creating open conflicts. The challenge of the double-faced highlights the importance of cultivating genuine and transparent relationships. Authenticity in relationships not only promotes greater well-being, but also builds a solid foundation of mutual trust and respect. As we strive to navigate these waters, we remember that each interaction is an opportunity to reinforce our own values of honesty and integrity. After all, the deepest and most meaningful relationships are those based on truth and loyalty. As we navigate the complexities of human interactions, we face a variety of challenges that test our patience and resilience. One of these challenges is the constant irritator, that individual who seems to have the ability to deliberately provoke irritation. This behavior can be particularly exhausting as it seems to have the sole purpose of destabilizing our inner peace. Understanding how to effectively deal with the constant irritator is essential to maintain our emotional balance and serenity. Here are some strategies that can help. 1. Breathing and distancing. When confronted with provocation, taking a moment to breathe deeply can help maintain calm. Emotionally distancing yourself from the situation can also prevent provocations from affecting your mood. 2. Identifying triggers. Understanding what exactly provokes irritation can be the first step in developing strategies to deal with these situations. Knowing your personal triggers allows you to prepare more effective responses. 3. Assertive communication. Clearly expressing that certain behaviors are unacceptable can help set boundaries. It is important to communicate this assertively and calmly without aggression. 4. Focus on the solution, not the problem. Focusing on how to resolve the conflict rather than fixating on irritation can help find a more productive outcome for both sides. Dealing with the constant irritator is ultimately a practice of self-development. Developing the ability to maintain calm and serenity in the face of provocations not only improves the quality of our daily interactions, but also contributes to our personal growth. Each challenging interaction offers us the opportunity to strengthen our resilience and our ability to maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances. I encourage all of you to use these situations as moments of learning, cultivating a more conscious and peaceful approach to life's adversities. While exploring the complexities of human relationships, we encounter various personalities that challenge our peace and well-being. One of the most significant challenges is dealing with the toxic individual. This type of person does not exhibit just one or two negative behaviors, but a combination of them, creating an emotionally harmful environment. The toxic individual can manifest in various forms: manipulative, constant critic, superficially friendly, among others. These combined behaviors can drain our energy, undermine our self-esteem, and create an environment of constant tension and stress. Here are some strategies to protect yourself from toxic people. 1. Setting firm boundaries. Clearly establishing what you tolerate and what you do not is essential. This may mean limiting the time you spend with this person, or avoiding certain conversation topics. 2. Healthy distance. Sometimes the only way to protect your well-being is to distance yourself from the toxic person. This can be temporary or permanent, depending on the severity of the situation. 3. prioritizing self-care. Focusing on activities that promote your physical, emotional, and mental well-being can strengthen your resilience against the impact of toxic behaviors. 4. Support network. Cultivating relationships with positive and supportive people can help balance out the negative interactions. Friends and family who genuinely care about you can offer emotional support and healthy perspectives. 5. Clear communication. If you choose to confront the toxic person, do so with clarity and calm. Expressing how their behavior affects you can sometimes lead to change, although this is not always guaranteed. Reflect on the relationships in your life and identify those that may be harming your well-being. Protecting yourself from toxic individuals is a form of self-care and an essential step towards living a more balanced and healthy life. When facing these challenges, remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who support and value you. Taking steps to protect yourself is not only necessary, but also an act of self-love and personal respect. We have reached the end of our journey through the complexities of human relationships. From manipulative empathy to toxic individuals, we have explored various challenging personalities that can impact our well-being. The key to navigating these interactions and protecting our inner peace lies in self-awareness and continuous commitment to personal growth. Stoic philosophy offers us valuable tools to face these situations with serenity and resilience. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our own attitudes and responses, while accepting what is beyond our control. By practicing this ancient wisdom, we can maintain our inner peace regardless of external circumstances. I invite you to reflect on the lessons discussed today and apply them in your daily life. Recognize the people and situations that drain your energy and work to establish healthy boundaries. Cultivate authentic and meaningful relationships that promote your growth and well-being. To continue this journey of self-knowledge and personal development, subscribe to the channel. Together, we will explore more deeply Stoic wisdom and other philosophies that can enrich our lives. By subscribing, you join a community of individuals committed to seeking a balanced and meaningful life. Don't miss the next videos, where we will continue to uncover practical ways to apply Stoic principles in our daily lives. Together we can build a more conscious, resilient, and fulfilling life. See you next time, and remember, you have the power to transform your relationships and your life, starting with yourself. Subscribe to the channel, and let's continue this journey of personal growth and self-awareness together.